If we had to pick between EPIK and Hagwons, we would obviously choose. Hey guys! It's been a year since our last video talking about this. And now that we've got a year under our belts, I feel like we've got more experience, like wise words. But I know a lot of you guys are always debating like EPIK versus Hagwons. We've had new teachers come to my school and they were like, we watched your video about Hagwons.
But I still came to a Hagwon.
Yeah, I mean, I do know that like EPIK is obviously much more time consuming to get through, and if you miss your timing, then it's like
you have to wait.
You have to
like
wait,
6 months.
and like some people are very determined for certain locations, and they just like don't want to get randomly placed. So, you know, I do understand those situations. You know, there's totally valid as well. But I think our decision still remains the same. You know, if we had to pick between EPIK and Hagwons, we would obviously choose EPIK again.
Definitely, yeah.
Just because of like the work-life balance you get is going to be a lot better. With Hagwons, like they can change your schedule at any time. Like even if you interviewed to get off at 6, like you can end up getting off at 8:30, 9 if they decide to change the schedule. So you're really at the mercy of your school most of the time, and I think that's the hardest part about any Hagwon.
And like we've definitely said before that EPIK is, you know, public school, so it is like government ran, whereas a Hagwon is a private academy, and since they're private, it's just all about making sure the parents want to keep their kids there, so they keep paying the money.
I kind of understand the whole like wanting to be in a certain location thing. Like I have a lot of friends in Seoul, and like right now that's why we live here, and that's kind of the reason why we both moved to Seoul and like left EPIK. Honestly, if you remember our friend Nate, he's been in our past videos, we work at the same school right now, and we're always both like, what? Like what did we do? So I will say in terms of like my personal life, just because of like who I was already friends with, it made my personal life a lot better. But that doesn't mean like you would have the same experience just because you live in Seoul. Living in Seoul is not the key to like being happy in Korea by any means. I know plenty of people who don't live in Seoul who are also really happy with their lives in Korea and who've been able to meet people where they are.
I think it just depends on what you want, and then if you do come with EPIK and you're in a place that you don't like honestly a year goes by pretty quickly.
Some people don't like Seoul, so you know, just because everyone says you should be somewhere doesn't mean that's true. And I think sometimes people forget that because they're just like, oh, I'm moving to Korea.
And honestly, if you're at a Hagwon in Seoul and like that's the reason, in EPIK we had so much more free time. But then we came to Seoul and we're like, oh, like we can do all this stuff because we're in Seoul. And then it was like, but we're just working all the time.
We work so many more hours.
So many more hours. It's crazy. So then during like the week, it's like it doesn't even matter that I live in Seoul because I'm probably not doing anything after work. On the weekend it is nice because then it's really easy to like
get home,
go out, and then easy to get back home. Like you don't have to, you know, stay in like a hostel or an Airbnb.
Anyways, so we've been now teaching at Hagwons for a year. I will tell you, so we both taught at kindy and elementary school Hagwons. You'll find like kindergarten only Hagwons are very hard to find. So you're usually gonna have to do kindergarten and elementary, or elementary middle school, or like sometimes even high school. So those hours are different. And if you teach adults, like that's like a whole other category. Adult teaching, it's really odd actually. You have to teach blocks of time, and then like and usually Saturdays, like 2 Saturdays out of a month as well.
And usually it's split. Like it'll be like in the morning, like before they go to work, and then you have to like you have like a break, and then you have to come back like at night after they
so
go
you have
off
like
work.
the full day to yourself, but then your work, you have to like be at work at 2 different times. But the thing with Hagwons is at least pay is very negotiable, and like you can definitely fight for your right. In terms of when you're negotiating contract, you can't get crazy. If you don't have any experience, like you can't ask really for much. The way certain schools pay is like always different. Like for example, I have a base pay, but then anything after like X amount of hours is technically I get paid overtime. But for Payton, like if they add hours to her schedule, she's still just getting base pay.
Which they've never like added hours. It's just they add work, like grading work, and then even if you don't have time within your day, your own time, you're not paid for it.
And there's also just like no downtime in Hagwons. Like you have maybe an occasional break. Like I have like a 30-minute break in my day, but then I'm just like straight teaching most of the time. Versus EPIK, like you have so much downtime while at work. actually crazy.
But it's like downtime where you don't really have any work to do.
It all really comes down to like what you're willing to sacrifice, because honestly this is a job and you're gonna have to make sacrifices. So like EPIK is just, it's verified, you know, like it's run by the government.
Yeah,
they're very stringent on like the contract and the schedule, so like
it's standard like across the board.
Everybody's in the same boat, like you're all getting the same things, you're all like not getting the same things. What I will say, what I've liked about teaching at Hagwon, not all of them are the same, but I really enjoyed kindergarten, getting exposed to kindergartners, because they're so cute, guys. I mean, they're like, they drive me crazy.
I will say that's the like one thing I really like about working at a Hagwon other than EPIK, especially like when I worked at EPIK, both schools that I taught at, the kids were super low level, and so I like couldn't really bond with them. It was cute because like we would try to talk to each other and we would have fun together, but it wasn't like I really knew them as like people. But at the Hagwon that I work at, and I'm sure at a lot of Hagwons, especially when they're starting out as kindergartners and they're going all the way to like 5th grade, their English is impeccable. Like we can have full-on conversations about anything. A lot of the students have like lived abroad.
Again, that's like different depending on like the class you teach and like where you are, but like for generally speaking, like Hagwon curriculum is gonna be harder than normal public school curriculum, so it's just like the level is gonna be different. I will say the other thing I really enjoyed with Hagwons is like I see the same kids a lot more, so there's like more evidence of growth. It's different per EPIK schedule, but with my EPIK schedule I was teaching one class once per week. So I only saw them once a week because I was seeing so many classes that week, versus with my Hagwon, I'm exposed to the kids at like a more frequent rate.
Most kids I teach them like every day. Yeah. Like they see me every day.
Yeah, so like you're like gonna know these kids, like know their quirks, know what they like, you know. So basically I think we can really agree on is like what is willing to be sacrificed. Like if like you put more emphasis on having a better work-life balance, on better scheduling, and you know you're more open to location, then I would definitely go with EPIK. There's still sole positions in EPIK, so you can just apply early and see how it goes, but we were both really lucky to be put in Daejeon, and we really enjoyed our time there. And as like an initial like point into Korea, I think it's a much better way to start as well, because they have an orientation and they really set you up and they just prepare you better for life in Korea, versus Hagwon is like, okay, go do it.
And you're like starting work.
Anyways, if you're super stuck on location, then like maybe Hagwon is like the way to go. But yeah, that's just our kind of our 2 cents there. Take what you have it. It's up to you at the end of the day. So make sure you're weighing your pros and cons as much as you can before you come here. But if you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below. In the meantime, don't forget to
like, comment, and subscribe.
I'll see you next one. Bye.